Just gonna actually fucking downgrade our game completely to run on a fucking toaster.
All I know is if I'm ever sailing alone on the Sea of Thieves, at least I've got Captain Meowington.
Nike have released gamer Nikes.
They're sending free pairs of those to every single fucking Twitch streamer, YouTube streamer, and all the rest of them, just to get one of the fucking chumps to wear it on a convention floor, and then you're gonna have a load of people wearing them.
Personally, I feel like you would have hit the gamer market a bit better if you just said hate women on one shoe and a racial slur on the other.
Fucking hell.
Kids. Hello, podcast listeners. Welcome and thanks for joining us. You're listening to the Video Game Chat podcast, a fortnightly podcast talking about games, tech, and other nerdy goodness. I'm Geordie, and I'm joined by my hosts, Rob.
Hello.
Gary.
Hello.
And Brendan. We hope you enjoy this podcast, and if you want to join in, ask questions, or suggest other topics, we have a new Discord where you can chat about games, news, and other stuff with our awesome community. You can also follow and message us on Twitter at VGC_podcast. The links are down below. A big thank you as well to one of our friends, Brawl, who made that lovely, lovely intro for us. And he is a part of a band called Later Rest, and they should be releasing some new content, album, whatever it is, very soon. So a big thank you to Brawl. Guys,
Thanks,
what have we all been doing this week?
No, Brendan, what have you been doing this week?
Yes.
I may have partaken in the consumption of beverages. I long for death.
I know, Brendan's feeling a little under the weather. We've had to move our podcast recording time from last night as he was going out drinking, and now we've moved it to the morning, and he is now he's feeling the pain from the
I'm being punished.
Consumption.
How have you been, Jody?
I've been pretty good. I had a little trip to Manchester this week and visited a few friends. But other than that, I have been playing some games and enjoying not being employed. Yeah. I played a little bit of golf online with some friends, and been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves as well with multiple friends, including you guys and some other friends.
Other friends? You're not allowed other friends.
People, yes.
God.
Coronavirus.
Other people. And also there's a game that I tried out the other day called There Are Billions.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually really, really fucking cool. I've never played it before.
That's a zombie
I played it the
one,
other day around. It's like a zombie survival. The way I described it when I was first being shown it by my mate Mo. Shout out Mo, love Mo. He was showing us it on his computer while we was around his house, and he was sort of saying, I was like, oh, it looks a little bit like a sort of top-down Age of Empires style, where you sort of have to build like resource gathering items and also have like a sort of army to protect you from basically getting overrun by zombies.
Oh, so it's like one of those like countless mobile games?
Sort of. It is a bit mobile-y game-ish, but it has got more of a like Age of Empires sort of vibe to it, where you have to walk around to reveal the map and stuff like that. But it was really cool. It was very, very challenging as well. Like, it's quite a hard game to get going and have everything be protected and stop yourself getting overrun. But yeah, I quite enjoyed about an hour of playing it the other day, and I'll probably will pick it up, to be honest. Was
it like a free hour, or how did it work?
No, my friend Mo has it, and I was just playing it on his account. So, but yeah, definitely need to go pick that one up as well. And I also gave Ubisoft's Hyperscape a go, and you
really
guys
killed the shit out of it.
Watched me stream that, and I think I played about 5 or 6 games before I managed to get a single kill.
Oof.
We say that's about right.
Yeah.
And but it seems to be very difficult VR game with power-ups and guns that don't really make sense, because like you get yourself a minigun and you can fire it for a good 30 seconds at a character and he won't die. He'll just run away or turn into a ball and bounce away. It's and
then there's a one-shot sniper rifle as well that they just took you out with.
There was a 2-shot sniper rifle. It is.
2-shot. Oh well.
Yeah, you have to get shot twice in the head to be able to kill by the sniper rifle. If not, it's like 4 body shots, which I think is ridiculous. Like, I'd much prefer, like, if I was to go and play a Battle Royale again, I'd probably much prefer to go and play PUBG.
Yeah.
Or even Fortnite is a better game than that, because if you get shot in the head, you're done. Like, it's just literally, you are a bullet sponge running around
shooting
with other bullet sponges. Exactly. It wasn't fun. And yeah, I swiftly uninstalled that after getting the 1 kill. And
I think the problem with it is that they've tried their very, very fucking hardest to make a very popular BR game that is going to contend with others. But they've, like, similar to, what was that other game that we discussed on the Battle Royale episode? The one that was so focused in making it a purely competitive esport that it wasn't fun. What do you remember what that was?
Must have been good.
Yeah, it must have been. It begins with C, I think. Rob, I think you mentioned it.
I can't remember.
It obviously it was that good, but there was another one that, but basically, this feels like that. And to kind of further the point, I saw news earlier that they're already on their second round of its like esports cup league type thing, and it's in fucking beta. Like, give it some time to evolve and then start doing the esports stuff. Don't just jump onto the esports when it's not even released. Like, Jesus fucking.
You say that it's a creator cup thing, so it's not an esports at all. It's literally just content creators online who have made like a way of turning it into like an esport would run, basically. It's not been picked up by any of like the esports organizers or anything. It's literally a content creator cup.
Yeah, it's a contrived marketing effort where they mirror an actual esports setup to make it seem like it's already one, and they've got all their wee streamers doing it.
Yeah, the streamers didn't come up with this. Ubisoft came up with it and then paid the content creators to pitch it to their audience. So
we're onto your shit, Ubisoft.
I don't know. The game just, like you said, it just doesn't look fun.
Yeah.
Nah. Here's a nice aesthetic. I'll give it that. Like, I quite like the futuristic and the city. The map was fantastic. Like, if they had that map in like a Call of Duty Warzone or Apex Legends, where it's just all city, no like big open fields or anything like that. There's lots of cover, lots of sort of verticality to the map. Would be great, but just not in that form where you're a massive bullet sponge.
It seems like very much like I mentioned in the last episode, a Twitch shooter where you've got so much to think about that you're looking, not only are you looking left and right, you're also looking up and down in every other direction in between that. There's just too much going on. Maybe I'm getting a bit old, but like I just don't see how I could possibly focus on 360 degrees of awareness while playing a game.
Old man Gary.
I feel old. But,
you young whippersnappers and your 360s and your no scopes.
Your hippity hop.
Am I the only one out of us four that think like there's just too much going on in it?
I'm pretty sure what you just described pretty much happens in every single shooter I've ever played. Like, if you're not also looking up and down, you might be in trouble.
No, I just want to look right ahead. Is that...
Why can't everything just be Time Crisis?
I don't even want to move. Just move for me. Actually, just shoot for me. I just want to watch someone play a game.
Can I open the cinemas?
Can I pay someone to
I do sort of understand how like you do have to look up and down. Like that is just the nature of that particular map, I feel. Just because there are like loads of towers and stuff. I'm pretty sure if you had that map in, say, Call of Duty Warzone, it'd be a case of, you'd have to look literally up, down, left, right, all over. Because at the moment, the only thing you have to worry about in other Battle Royale games is like helicopters flying over your head or people parachuting back down onto the map and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing you have to worry about.
Like that sort of stuff.
When they're that high, they're normally not an issue, and they're only flying in with no weapons or
you hear them
flying across the map,
or you see them. Yeah. Like that's the problem. Like I can focus on like we said, 360 degree movement. I can actually see if there's people above me. But when there's usually a visual indicator that visual or audio indicator that something is above you. So if someone's parachuting in, there'll be like a flare. Or if there's a helicopter, you'll hear it way before you even see it. Whereas if there's someone jumping or like jetpacking in this game or whatever it is, like right above you, you have absolutely no fucking idea they're there. So not only do you have to worry about like your peripherals, you have to worry about your vertical peripherals as well. It just seems like there's just too much going on, and you're constantly having to like fucking 360 your mouse all the time.
Yeah. And also paying £10 for a character skin as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
Not great Ubisoft.
Oh yeah, I've heard about
Fortnite,
the aggressive monetization.
Oh yeah, from the offset as well. Like in beta, you're paying for skins.
Yeah.
Like,
now, I understand it's the whole free-to-play market and that's the way they make their money, but literally like £10 for a character skin is just
again great. You'd rather see even if there was a lot more people buying a lot more cheap skins than like
market it at like £2 a skin, and you might even get people like me paying for it. You know, like if you market it at £10, I'm going to look at that and go, well, that's fucking ridiculous. That's the same with like Rocket League, for example, and we'll get onto that a little bit later. But the skins there, now that there's no loot boxes, are £22 or £20 for a goal explosion.
Yeah,
insane.
Boy, I sure do love video games.
Yeah, well, might not like them in the next 5 years, might we?
What about the rest of us? What else have you been playing, Brendan?
Three fairly different games. The first one was Hell Let Loose, which is my new favorite World War II game. Absolutely gigantic fucking maps based around basically the D-Day landings and what came after that. So you start on Omaha or Utah Beach, you push up to Carentan or Saint-Mary. The maps are the biggest I've ever seen in a game like that. Like it's 100 players on each one, so 50 versus 50. There's a commander for each side, and that commander can instruct squads of 6. So each squad has a squad leader, so communication is key to get around these fucking gigantic maps. And it's just fucking incredible, really intense. I've always loved the Red Orchestra 2 gameplay, and this one just does it perfectly. Like it's the perfect sort of successor to Red Orchestra 2, and it builds on everything that they did. So I've been loving that. I've been playing loads of it. It's quite fucking heavy going when you first go in for the first time, because it is very much a case of you could be running across an open field and you will just hear the crack of a rifle shot and you will be dead. And that's it. And that's where the squad play comes into it quite a lot, because the maps are big and you need your squad leader to put down garrisons and things like that so you can spawn a bit closer to objectives. I think there are plans for them to introduce half-tracks and jeeps in the next few updates. They're talking about adding more vehicles. So I think that'll definitely improve on the gameplay, which is already fucking fantastic. One of the other games is Lone Echo, which is a VR game. I've been haranguing the guys to pick up the free multiplayer version of it called Echo VR, because basically you're a robot floating through a space station in this single player. So it's zero gravity in VR, which is really fucking cool. You pull yourself along, you use little thrusters and stuff like that. Like the gameplay itself is kind of simple. It's not even like puzzles. It's just kind of you go along and your objective's in the next room, but to get into the next room, you need to cut through the panel of some sort of heating valve and turn it on and all that sort of business. And that's kind of repeated throughout it. But there's like a sci-fi storyline there, which stems from you and your human commander are on a space station and an anomaly appears off the side of Saturn. And I think I said on Twitter about this, like all good sci-fi franchises, just shenanigans ensue, and I won't go any further into any spoilers around all that. But really enjoyable VR game, really quite unique with the whole zero gravity thing in it. And then the other game was the one that I subjected everyone to of a stream on Discord, which is Succubus Prologue, which was up for free as a demo on the Steam store. And I kind of figured, like Steam is bad when it comes to its moderation of its content. And when I saw Succubus Prologue on the front page of Steam being offered as a free demo, I was like, okay, well, maybe this is one that's all right. Like they've pushed it onto the front page. So I downloaded it and started it up. And fundamentally, it's Doom. It's melee-based Doom. So it's very visceral, sort of you're running around the place just slaughtering things with your swords. But you're not the Doom guy. You are a naked succubus with titties out. And it's just the entire thing.
And a tail.
And a tail, naturally, and wings. The entire thing is like basically some fucking edgy nerds weird fetish thing. Because like there are healing stations in this game, which this is where I made the guys watch this on stream.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah,
I really literally couldn't have lived without that.
Made my life more whole and complete knowing that exists.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Throughout the game, there is nudity everywhere. There is extreme misogynistic sexual violence. They're trying to be as edgy as possible, and it is very fucking on the nose with just how desperate they are to be edgy.
So similar to what was it?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Isometric shooter. What was it? Hatred. Absolutely years ago.
Hatred. Yeah, that's it. It's that sort of energy. Like you can tell that the developers, when they were fucking building this, like that thing with the first aid station and all, like they were clearly just sitting thinking, oh, this is going to make so many people angry. Oh, it's going to be so shocking.
This is going to really upset some feminists.
It's going to trigger them.
Wholly unfulfilling and spiritually devastating.
Like it's like a visual manifest of 4chan.
No, I don't even think that counts as 4chan. I feel like this is just a special kind of subset.
Well, there could be some certain boards on 4chan that...
True, actually, yeah. Particularly for that first aid station.
Yeah.
Another thing quickly that I'll mention, just about new games and stuff that we may have played or picked up this week. I've been watching a few streams of Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, as we spoke about on the previous podcast on the Devolver roundup that we were talking about. Yeah. I didn't realise that they were the same guys, well, the same guys that made Fall Guys, the same guys that did that Haruto Boyfriend, the pigeon dating simulator.
Oh, Hateful Boyfriend.
Yeah.
Now that is range. That is a diversity in your production.
It really is,
They're the same people that did that, and they actually have in the Fall Guys. There's actually a pigeon costume that you can get for it as like a little shout out. That's
amazing.
And also, I've just noticed after like saying to myself that I'm definitely going to buy this when it comes out on the 4th. It'll be coming out on the release of this podcast. So I will pre-purchase it now. Just because I've just noticed that one of the costumes you get for pre-purchasing is a little bean Gordon Freeman with a head crab. And it looks amazingly cute.
We've covered this about 1,000 fucking times now, but every time there's a new game that comes out, like Fall Guys, because I really want to play Fall Guys because it looks like Takeshi's Castle and it looks like it'll be great crack. Yeah. But like the moment I see a game and there's like loads of customization options, I'm just like, great, these fuckers are going to be like shaking their can at me constantly throughout this, just being like, come on, cough up a $5, you prick.
You know, there's always going to be microtransactions. Like moving forward, if a game doesn't have microtransactions, they're never going to get funded or published.
Star Wars Squadrons, Gary. It's getting a full release at a reasonable price, and there's no fucking microtransaction bullshit in that game.
Are you
they've
sure,
already
though?
said it's not happening.
Yet. I guarantee they will.
They've straight up said that's not happening. Like
it's EA.
Yeah, who've had so much shit for microtransactions in the Star Wars license already.
And look how Battlefield turned out when they didn't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just got dropped after 2 years. So for them to keep funding it, they have to put in microtransactions.
That doesn't mean that's a good thing. That's my point.
No.
It's not good. It's fucking shit, and it's crap that it's got to this point where you're going into a fucking game and it's like, it's 20 quid for a fucking goal explosion, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but these companies are sinking a shit ton of money into it. I would much prefer to pay for DLC than pay for
microtransactions.
A microtransaction. I would rather
100%.
I would rather get a much more refined and finished product than small, tiny little bits and pieces. Though that being said, the three of us, Geordie, Rob, and myself, did actually buy a pet for Sea of Thieves. So,
which segue, Sea of Thieves. We've been playing a shitload of that. It's fantastic.
It is. I mean, technically, there was actually no point in getting the pet, and we have wholly succumbed to the marketing, and because it's so fucking damn cute. But yeah, I mean, I feel
it's
like
fine.
It's fine.
You're allowed to have moments of weakness and fun.
But no, I paid for Sea of Thieves in full when it came out. So that was like, what, 50 quid when it came out. Got all like the extra bonus bits and pieces that came with it. And yeah, just randomly, as of when they introduced, as we picked it up again, they have pets in it now. And I was like, oh, pets, these are cool. How much are they? Oh, it's a $5. Oh, okay. I'll stick a tenner on it.
I could get 2 pets that I can only use one at a time.
So I can get one pet and give them a little cute outfit. Yay.
They are very cute. They are very cute.
Yeah.
I think that I'm
consumerism. I'm going to go play Hell Let Loose.
I'm going to blame Rob entirely on that one, because I saw that you had Paul, the cute little burb, and I was like, how did you get him? And you were like,
Patreon.
It's a microtransaction. And then I was like, oh, but I want a pet now because you've got a pet and it's cute. It doesn't do anything, but it's cute. So then I got one, and then Geordie got one, and then I got one.
Yep.
But
all I know is if I'm ever sailing alone on the Sea of Thieves, at least I've got Captain Meowington.
That £10 bundle of joy.
Yep.
Yeah. I also spent £10 on it because I was the same as you, Geordie. I was like, oh, I'll get a pet and then I might get something else with it. But I haven't actually spent the other £5. So it cost.
Oh, you just get an outfit for the monkey. The monkey outfits look amazing.
I'm trying to find one that I like the look of. But yeah.
Not sponsored.
Not yet. Maybe Sea of Thieves will be our new sponsor.
Come on, Rare. Throw us a bone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
throw us another pet.
I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves lately and got back into Red Dead because I've had like a bit of a crappy couple of weeks mental health wise, and just like having a couple of games that are just a bit more toned down and relaxed in a way. Like Sea of Thieves is just incredibly pleasant to play. And Red Dead Online,
apart from that one time
that was incredibly stressful, but it happens. But that can happen with anything that you find relaxing for the most part. Like, could I have a bath? And then, oh shit, the bath leaks. Oh,
I'm drowning.
Stress. Yeah. But having a couple of games that you can just sort of pick up and play, like at your own pace, do whatever the hell you want, sort of thing. Not thrown into an immediate matchmaking system against like competitive tryhards and things. You know, it's been nice to just unwind a bit, you know, which is not something you get to do a lot, really, when we've been playing games lately. Like Hunt, Rocket League, blah, 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 Hell Let Loose. It's all chaos, constant chaos.
Yeah. I think we just need a breather from these high-octane, very competitive
and occasionally incredibly toxic sort of player bases.
There's a lot of toxicity in Rocket League. As much as I love it, like, Jesus wept. The people on it are fucking assholes sometimes.
Oh God, yeah. Just the amount of anti-Semitic, transphobic fucking team names you run into, and you're like, how are these people not banned? And they just get aggy straight off the bat as soon as they concede a goal, and you're like, oh my God, just give it a rest, just play, have some fun, give us a GG at the end.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, it's not like that hard.
We play these games because we enjoy them and we want to.
We like a challenge, and we
like a challenge. Yeah,
you know, we want to get better at things we're doing as well. But bloody hell,
I think, especially like Rob said, when your mental health is not great. And like my mental health hasn't been great over the past couple of weeks either. Everyone struggles with mental health. And at the moment it's
completely exacerbated by everybody being in lockdown and shit. It's just...
Exactly. And it's exhausting. I'm pretty sure every single one of us over the past 1 or 2 weeks has said that we're knackered and we're tired. And it's, maybe partially because we're staying up playing games, but also I think,
fuck.
But again, that's why I've been finding like a bit more sort of open-ended, do whatever you want sort of games like Sea of Thieves and Red Dead Online, actually quite a nice, refreshing change of pace. Because again, you can just sail about if you want to, dig up a bit of treasure here and there, you can pretty much completely avoid combat if you wanted to, sort of thing. It's you say that, but yeah, we did have that one team that just kept pursuing us the other night, and we just had to keep killing them over and over again, who just did not learn, but just would not leave us alone. But yeah, for the most part, it is just a very serene, very beautiful game, and very relaxing to play. I love it. And
it's the thing, even though there's I feel like there isn't necessarily downtime in the game.
No,
because you've always got to manage
managing sales, just making sure you're heading in like the right direction you want to be heading for your little treasure hunts and things. But it's not exactly like
getting your lefts and rights correct.
God damn it! All your easts and wests or norths and souths, Gary. Jeez. It's just my lefts and rights, lads. It's just my lefts and rights.
Yeah, let's just skip past that.
But yeah, it is. Even the it's not exactly complete downtime, but even the actions that you are constantly having to do are relatively relaxing. Change the sails to get that wind, and then when you get like the wind in your sails properly, and you get that little musical sting, it's like a positive feedback loop of just pleasantness, which is
it's a very well made, relaxing game, and I think that's why the three of us have been playing it so much.
And Red Dead recently actually got an update for the first time since November, which has been a long time coming and is actually quite underwhelming. But even that, it spurred me to get back into it and reminded me how much fun I actually had on it. Just traveling around the world, picking up little objectives and things to do as and when I wanted to, and tackling some of the roles and things for the frontier pursuits. Yeah, because the new one they've added is like a sort of. It's a conservationist hunting one where you're tagging animals and taking samples of them without killing them, sort of thing. Or you can hunt them and send in legendary skins or whatever to this new hunter guy who's essentially the trapper from single player has been added to online. So you bring legendary pelts and stuff to him and he'll craft you unique outfits, sort of things. But honestly, the new role is really dull. Like the payout for everything is terrible. The amount of money you put into like the equipment for it, like the 2 cartridges that sedate animals instead of kill them, like it's all expensive compared to the payout you get from it, sort of thing. So I very much I've polished it off. Like hit rank 20 on that one, and I was just like, I can't be asked with her ever again, sort of thing. Like I've done it. I'm not going to do that anymore out of choice. I'm going to go straight to the hunter guy if I run into any of these legendary animals. So, not a great update by any means, but
especially considering it's taken them nearly a year,
almost a year. Yeah, like they've said that they wanted to do 2 big content updates this year, so I'm hoping the next one's around the corner. Because
surely they need to do 2 big content updates because the one that they've done isn't big.
Yeah, allegedly the PS4 version has the collector's been updated as well. There's now fossils or something to find as well. But yeah, we don't have that yet on PC for some reason. So that's going to be part of it, but that's not going to be the second update. So I don't know what the second big update is, but
yeah, fossils wouldn't even be a major change. That would just be like the Arrowhead
an extra
collection.
Thing to find. Yeah, just something else to dig up every now and then.
I wonder if they put fossils in. Was it for PlayStation? Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, because they've got a deal with PlayStation at the moment, so that'll be why.
Yep.
So shitting on everything aside from PlayStation. That's great. Love that.
Yeah. But, it's been enough content to actually bring me back in and just have a look at it again. And, just riding around and doing the odd thing here and there reminded me again just how gorgeous the world is. They've actually got all the animal spawns working again. So the trader role's actually valid again. They've added in a wider variety of animals to online and things. But again, generally just pretty relaxing, sort of jump in and ride around the Wild West and, take it in a bit. Do what you want sort of game, very much like Sea of Thieves in that regard, where you can just do whatever the goddamn hell you feel like playing, as opposed to I have to jump in and do specifically this and I have to succeed. It's just I want to do what I want to do. I want to just relax for a bit. It's quite nice. And again, I think I've needed this, like just games to be relaxing.
I'm moving on anyway. I picked up Carrion. I didn't pick it up. It was part of a Game Pass, and I'm a little underwhelmed by it, unfortunately. Like, I really, really like the art style. I love the
reverse horror sort of aspect of it as well.
Exactly. I the way the monster controls is incredible. But I played an hour of it, and half an hour of that was me actually playing the game properly and doing something. I felt like there was actually something to do. And then the second half an hour was me going around trying to find where I needed to go, because it's like Rob said, it's a Metroidvania style game where there's multiple rooms and you have to find the exact location or the exact combination of things to do to unlock different areas. Now I got to a point half an hour in where I was stuck because I couldn't find this one particular place I needed to go in order to trigger something in another room that I know I needed to trigger, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, there's no map system or anything, is there? So
that's the thing. I spent half an hour going into exactly the same rooms, doing a full fucking loop, and I couldn't find out where I needed to go because, like Rob said, there's no map. So I spent this half an hour trying to find it, and I just gave up. I got so frustrated and actually kind of stressed me out a little bit because I was like, am I missing something really fucking obvious here? Maybe, but
oh god! And you know full well if it had been something like super obvious that you'd missed, that it wasn't exactly laid out for you, but when you think about it, looking back, you're like, shit, that was so fucking obvious. That would annoy you enough anyway that you would have quit anyway, regardless of whether you'd found it or not. Like,
it reminds me very much of the Spectrum and the Sega games, where you didn't have the features that you currently have in modern games, and it is a harder game because of that. But when I'm wanting to pick it up and just play it for a small amount of time, it's just to see how it is and to maybe enjoy it. Things like a map are, I would say, vital in those kind of games because it makes the enjoyment, it keeps the enjoyment, rather. Like, I lost the enjoyment. You're constantly
able to progress, sort of thing, because you're like, right, now I need to go here. Cool, I've done this, as opposed to, oh, that'll be where I need to go.
Yeah.
Not, I go now, shit, was it this tube?
I looked at multiple different reviews of the game after I played it, and everyone said the same thing. It was, we need a map, or it's a very short game, but if you know how to solve it, it's even shorter. So it's kind of like, I feel like maybe not including the map was a thing that they came to at some point just because they were like, well, shit, that adds the average user half an hour per chapter sort of thing. So yes, exactly. So I feel like it might be planned, make it a bit longer. I feel currently, in its current state, I would have been unhappy if I paid £17 or £16 for it, that it's currently retailing on Steam. The fact that That's quite bad because usually we're like, shit, if the game's actually released below £35, fuck, that's probably quite good value for money at this day and age where everything is £60. Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a really, really enjoyable game until you get to that point where it starts becoming frustrating. And it's not frustrating in a good way, to the point where you're like, okay, I know that I can get better at this and I can.
Yeah, I just need to get better. I need to sort of learn the timings or something sort of thing. It's just
all of the maps look so like different. Like, there's enough differentiality, if that's a word, between each map, but they're so similar at the same time that you get confused as to where you're going. So there's no like, I know that there's like escape icons on the walls, like fire escape icons, so you can go that direction. But the one that I've currently found is that it leads me to the place where I know I need to go, but I can't go. So maybe I'm being thick. I definitely will pick it up and see if I can figure it out. But I'm glad that it was on Game Pass, because I'm already paying for Game Pass and I don't feel like I've lost any money from it. But
yeah, that's the thing I like about Game Pass, is that things do go on there straight away from launch, which is great because it means you don't have to waste money on it by spending out full amount on a pre-release game or a pre-order on a game sort of thing. You can wait and hope that it comes out on Game Pass. If not, then you have to make your decision whether you want to actually buy it or not. Any other news we've heard this week on the interwebs?
Well, I saw Nike have released some gamer Nikes, and they are interesting, to say the least. My favorite part of it is whoever designed these probably originally put GG on the side of it, and then someone up above in upper management were like, what does GG mean? And then they had to explain themselves by being like good game. And they're like, good game doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you say good game? And it's like, well, that's what gamers say. No, call it have a good game. So they've written have a good game on the side of the trainers. What fucking gamer says have a good game? Like, honestly. Like,
I mean, there's also the other question here, which is what gamer would spend fucking however much on a pair of gaming shoes?
Well, let's find out how much they are.
They're probably like 100 quid or maybe 200 quid, but there will be some gamers who want it. Like, it's glow in the dark, and I'm sure that appeals to the RGB gamers. But like, there's so many aspects of this shoe from a design point of view that I just don't understand. Like, well, I do understand. I totally understand why they've done it, but it just feels like it's someone who is like really high up in Nike has gone, we need to make a shoe for gamers. So what do gamers like? Oh, they like Zelda hearts. They like pixels. What's the lingo? Oh yeah, have a good game. And they like headsets as well. Let's make an emoji with our tick and put a headset on it. Like, these are all things that are just like, I don't feel like it really represents gamers. I think
my favorite attention to detail, actually, just with regards to the have a good game thing, is that they have distorted it like it's on a CRT monitor.
Yeah.
So that it looks like your nice, crisp, white trainers have already smudged.
Yeah. And my favorite thing as well is that emoji is also in the good. So it's like, have a good with an emoji face game. I just don't get it. I maybe, again, going back to that I'm coming up to 30, very fucking quickly coming up to 30. I don't get it. I don't see how even like kids would look at that and go, that speaks to me. Do you know what I mean?
No, kids would look at that and go, they're pretty cool.
Your main problem is you're doing sort of cart before the horse on this, because it's not going to be a thing of they're releasing this and then just kind of hoping that people that play games are going to look at them and be like, oh, those are fucking class. They're sending free pairs of those to every single fucking Twitch streamer, YouTube streamer, and all the rest of them, just to get one of the fucking chumps to wear it on a convention floor, and then you're going to have a load of people wearing them.
Ninja's sponsored by Nike anyway, so he's probably already got 2 pairs of each.
There we go. Also, like, I just looked up the price. Those Blazer mid 77, whatever the fuck that means, they're 80 quid for just like a normal pair of those, so presumably there'll be a markup on that to 100.
I just don't get the Velcro strap at the back with the stickers on the back that you can take on and off.
Personally, I feel like you would have hit the gamer market a bit better if you just said hate women on one shoe and a racial slur on the other.
Fucking hell. That's a hot take, Rob. A true one, but a hot take.
The worst thing is, like, that's a joke, but fundamentally, if you release that, you'd get shitloads of little fucking 14-year-old twerps walking around with those. Don't forget, we've also got the link for the one that I found when we were searching for this earlier, which is Puma's pair of, quote, active gaming footwear, which is an 80 quid pair of what I can only describe as, and I'm probably doing their work for them here, a hybrid sock. It's a sock with a sole, like a sort of hardened sole on it. And they're selling that for 80 quid with a tagline, created with console gamers in mind. PC gamers can fuck off. Go wear your fucking wellies or whatever the hell you guys wear. The gaming sock is the first edition.
Sat there on your upright desk wearing socks. PC Master Race wearing socks.
To be fair, all you'd have to do to really market a shoe to PC gamers, make them comfy and probably give them RGB.
Oh my god!
Hang on, I would unironically get a pair of those if you could get, like, you know, the fucking runners where whenever you make contact with the ground they flash. Like, I want one of those.
Just a Corsair branded shoe where you can customize the RGB lighting. It's comfortable enough to sit at a desk with. Cooling. You know, fuck it, sold. So, Brendan, I've just dropped into the Discord something that's going to upset and horrify you.
I'm watching it now, Rob. It's terrible.
Yeah, Onward has had a new update, and they've completely balked not just the graphics, but the audio, how smoke works, how you'll physically interact with other players and things, all to make it run on the Quest. And it's horrible.
It's terrible.
You're fucked.
Like, apparently every gun sounds the fucking same. They all look so low poly and gross compared to what they did. Like, you can't see a fire selector on your guns or anything anymore.
This is,
apparently the night vision's broken. It's, what the hell have they done?
It's like a self-defeating thing where, like, because the hardware's obviously quite demanding to get any sort of fucking game on it. A lot of games obviously hit their graphics in a kind of way. And they're like retroactively doing that, so the game looks like shit to try and encourage more people to be able to play it because they'll have the Quest. And then when people look at VR games, they're going to look at VR games that look like utter shit.
Yep. And again, they could have added that in as a, Quest.
Yeah, a fucking video setting. Yeah,
but no, that's now for everybody.
Well, technically, you can't really do that.
No,
you can't because the reason why they've changed everything is because if you start adding in different model settings, that adds X amount of gigabytes.
Okay, then fucking make a fucking Quest version.
But then you have two games. You have two games that you have to then update, and it starts getting.
Who gives a shit?
Well, like Minecraft, they now have 3 versions of the game, and they don't put any new content out because it takes them too long to do it.
The thing is, they have done this like only a few weeks after the Steam Summer Sale as well.
Yeah, so it's gone on
after they announced their big lighting updates and everything that they'd been doing for Onward, that made the game actually look even nicer than it did. And then just a couple of weeks after, they've made a few nice sales, and just after that 2-week refund window on Steam is gone.
It looks like
a massive unannounced downgrade.
It looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say
it is.
I wouldn't buy that new version of that game. The old version looks so much better.
And I think me and Brendan have passed the point of refunding. The old version. Yep.
But then again, there are Steam allows for extenuating circumstances, and
I've only got 44 minutes on it, so I could easily refund that potentially.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the store page for Onward at the moment, it's gone from like very / mostly positive recent reviews to mostly negative overnight.
How the fuck did they think? Like, they could have at least sort of said,
Facebook
we're issuing a hotfix or something like that. But obviously, this seems to be something they intend to just fucking keep at.
They've said, hey everyone, we've been listening to the feedback on the PCVR 1.8 update we launched yesterday. Understand the frustrations you've shared with us. The focus for the update was not only to facilitate the launch on the Quest. We've also implemented an enormous amount of changes under the hood will enable us to expand onward going into the future. Blah, blah, blah. The current graphics in particular are a noticeable step down from what you were used to. I apologise for not having communicated that clearly with you. or given the option to make a choice between 1.7 and 1.8 while we worked on solving these issues. I don't think they're issues. I think that's it. They would have said, right, we've updated it for the Quest. In the meantime, in this interim patch, there's going to be a noticeable graphics downgrade while we actually tinker behind the scenes to get things working for both platforms nicely. But no, the fact that they didn't announce it, like, this is going to upset a few of you. Don't worry, you can play on the previous branch temporarily.
Yeah.
If you go into the beta settings. But the fact that they didn't announce it, I think they were just hoping to get away with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Or they just didn't care. And
it looks like a totally different game. It looks like the old versions of the remaster.
All the video trailers, Gary, on Steam are still from previous versions.
Actually, just fucking the idea of this is obviously they're talking about, we want to make cross play possible of the Quest. That is just basically what they have done, is taken like a PlayStation 3 game and fucking just rammed it into a PlayStation 2 format. They've just completely wrecked all of their hardware capability, or all the sort of advantage that their hardware gives them, and made a shit earlier generation game to provide support for hardware which isn't up for the job. So it is like taking a brand new PlayStation 3 game and being like, nah, actually, all those graphics, they're gone now. We want this to run on PlayStation 2 as well. So I'm afraid all you guys who have the better hardware, you can just go and fuck yourselves.
I think they've received a deal from Facebook, and they've had to accommodate for that. Probably because it's a shit ton of money. So,
I'm actually half tempted to refund it if I can, to be honest, until we fix that. Because
I understand how they can't do two versions of the game. I totally understand that. But what I don't like is the way that they've done this and made it from like a really good game to now what looks like an absolute heap of dog shit. But fundamentally, from a development point of view, it would be unrealistic of them to do multiple versions of the game unless they had another dev team. And by the sounds of it, it's just one person. So they probably shouldn't have taken the deal.
Disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing. Really disappointing. They have to do that to make it marketable for another headset, which is like a lower product.
The Quest is essentially a fucking smartphone level quality as well. That's the thing. It's not even like low end PC VR. It's essentially running on a phone. It's
kind of like fucking me eating my own words, because I remember when we were previously discussing VR, one of the obstacles I thought that would always pop up is you've got things where there's multiple platforms like HTC, the Index, and Oculus, and they all have their own sort of control schemes, and games going forward has to kind of figure out a way to balance themselves across all these different headsets that people have. And at no point did I think that would fucking formulate in the sense that they'd be like, oh, we're just going to actually fucking downgrade our game completely to run on a fucking toaster.
Well, there has been evidence of that in the past. Team Fortress 2, for example, used to look fucking beautiful. There was like moving liquid and individual syringes on the medics' skins. I remember seeing that. I remember the gloss on the flamethrower. And I was like, holy shit, this game is incredible. Then I totally didn't notice it until it was too late, and they'd already downgraded everything. If you look at before and after TF2, you'll see that there's a noticeable downgrade in graphics, just so that they can market it to more people.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the next subject?
Oh, quickly before that.
Yeah.
So Unity, Brendan told me about this actually. So do you want to chat about it, or are you happy for me to?
Fucking work away.
Okay. So Unity has just released Bolt for free across all of their packages, and it's so for anyone who doesn't know what Bolt is, or Unity for that matter. So Unity is a game engine that you can make any games on. But you had to know some level of, you actually had to know how to code in order to make games on it. Whereas now, and then there was a plugin called Bolt, which was basically like a flowchart. You didn't need to know too much code in order to use it, but it basically meant that you could install Bolt and you pay for the plugin, and you can make a game without really knowing any code. So it was a really, really good feature for Unity. And now Unity has put this in their packages for free, and Bolt has refunded everyone who bought it before, which is
fair play.
Really nice touch. So there've been game engines out there and packages that aren't Unity that have done a no code option before. I'm actually using some myself. There's like Game Maker Studio, Godot. There's countless others, but those two I've been looking at, and now Unity has got a no code option for free, which is incredible. And I feel like they're bringing that in to help people who really are interested in making games or have like an idea of a game, but they can't make it because they don't know how to code. And coding isn't easy. Fundamentally, it's really, really difficult. So it just gives like that extra level of kind of flexibility for people who wouldn't normally make a game to make some. And I look forward to seeing what comes out of the kind of indie scene moving forward from that.
We can all look forward to Steam Greenlight being absolutely flooded with a new wave of early access survival games.
Well,
oh yes.
Speaking of which, Jody, that's a good.
Yes, talking about early access survival games, the Xbox Series X showcase was last week sometime for you guys, and we've had a few reveals, a few teasers, and recently, as of last Tuesday, they released the beta or the early access.
It's not even a beta.
Grounded. It's not even a beta. No, it is an early access.
Alpha.
Yeah, probably. Of Grounded, which was like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids survival game, which was made by Obsidian, and it was sort of known, or it was sort of advertised as Obsidian has never done anything like this game before, but they're sort of funded by Xbox. They've made this great sort of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style survival game, and it was lucky enough I didn't pay any money for it. I was really, really hyped for this game because I love survival games. I love games where you can build bases. I'm especially a fan of like Rust and DayZ. So I was like, oh, this is going to be great. 4-player co-op survival where you've just got to survive from like bugs and spiders and stuff that you'd find in your back garden. So I thought, you know what? When this game comes out, I've got it on my Steam wish list. I'll buy it on Steam. Luckily enough, I didn't buy it on Steam and I didn't waste £24 of my own money. And it was on Game Pass. And I pay for Game Pass at the moment. So I thought, fuck it. I'll just use the £3 that Game Pass has done to download it and play it. Me and Gary played it. We played it on stream. A few people who were listeners of the podcast, I know, were there watching it along with us. And we managed to complete I say in inverted air commas, story mode in less than an hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the actual story part of the game, where you are 4 kids who have to sort of find out why they've been shrunk down and like the whole like sciencey sort of thing behind it, was basically 1 or 2 very small missions. You get to this like underground lab and then they go, right, that's it. That's the end of the story. Feel free to just play the game as it is, as a base survival builder, basically, because that's all it is. There's no need for you. Well, you can go and explore the map, which is essentially just the largest back garden, or it's just a back garden you've been shrunk down into. So that's why it actually makes it feel so big. But there's spider caves and stuff like that, and there's certain bits of armor that you can build yourself and that. But I didn't really fancy grinding out. I would rather have the storyline take me through and make me create all this stuff. Because there's no reason for you to build a base as long as you don't go anywhere near spiders or anything that are hostile mobs. But yeah, it was a bit of an unfinished mess, I think is what I called it on stream. Yeah,
it's like Jody said, I was playing with him on stream. You can check it out on Jody's channel if it's still up.
The VOD should still be up.
I'm comparing this game to like early days of Minecraft, like back before there was anything really in Minecraft. And I still feel like Minecraft has more. Like then to like there was a reason to want to build a base in Minecraft because you would get attacked in the evenings or in the night, and you had to kind of, the more you built up the base, the easier it was to make things, and it kind of just made it a little bit more sense. For me, playing that, playing Grounded, I only crafted one item that entire time, and to be honest, I didn't even really, I mean, I needed to craft that one item, but the rest of it, there was no need. I genuinely, there was absolutely no point in building a base. There was no point in building even any weapons, because you could just run around and avoid them. Like there was literally no point in my eyes.
Like there wasn't even a reason to build a bed to sleep through the night, because when you slept, if you slept through the night, it just went from daytime to daytime. And at night, there's nothing that comes out at night which would do you any harm, other than you not being able to see much. That is literally no reason why you wouldn't just stay around at the night time. Like, I can understand, like with Minecraft, when it's nighttime, zombies come out and stuff like that, but
I don't see any replayability moving on from that unless you are really wanting to build a base, and that is literally all you want to do is build the base. I don't see any reason why you'd want to continue it. But I'm surprised, like looking on Steam, it's very positive. So maybe we've missed something.
I don't think we've missed anything.
Like, I think the relative shortness of that game also throws into that complaint we had as well about the weird, like, what was it, when you could survey different items or whatever, you know, research them to see what you could craft with them. And you could only do 2 or 3, and then you had to wait 40 minutes or something.
Oh, so we also found out...
Just arbitrarily.
We also found out that later on there's different areas where there are different tables. So if you search around the map more, you'll notice that there are loads of those different tables all around the map. So you get 3 uses at each one, and then they all sort of reset after a timer. So if you do go out and you do explore more, you can find more research tables and create different bases at those different research tables to make them more
still,
available.
Even then, that's however many, and then you've still got a timer on all of them, sort of thing. It's still an arbitrary thing just to pad out what is a very short game with nothing to do.
When Grounded becomes a £50, probably full release game with an actual story, it may be worth purchasing. But at the moment, as an early access, it's definitely not for me.
Agreed.
Cool.
Speaking of Obsidian, though, they're actually working on a new RPG, aren't they?
Exactly, yes. That was going to lead into the next part of the teaser section. So Avowed was their new sort of release that they came out with. It was a nice like cinematic trailer of like an arrow being fired. And it does look like Obsidian is trying to be the new Bethesda. And it looks like very Skyrim-esque and sort of melee-based combats with like swords and shields and bows and arrows, as well as
it's also set in their Pillars of Eternity universe, so they've already got like quite an established lore going on. So it's going to be another entrant into that sort of world. So there's already plenty to build off lore-wise, and if you've played either of those 2 games, classic isometric RPG style, I think they are co-op as well. So like if they are ever on sale, I think we should probably have a pop at those as well and watch as Geordie and Brendan murder everybody in town, in every town.
Because we've got to get our loot somehow, Rob, when you've run off and fucking opened every container.
That was the most money we'd actually made in a playthrough. We had so much shit. Oh, who knew?
I'd like to think that it was short-term gains, long-term fuck-ups. That's what I like to think that process of playing Divinity was going to lead us to.
Yeah, where like we have no allies at the end for like the big bad or something. And you're like, oops, maybe I shouldn't have murdered it. No, none of that. We'll just murder that big bad and take his loot as well.
But yeah, back to the point. Avowed looks really cool. I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out. It'd be good to get something that follows up to sort of the scale of Skyrim. I'd laugh if they release Avowed before Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, hopefully they will.
Oh, I bet they will, yeah.
Hopefully they will. And in the same style of RPG and fantasy, we also had the Fable teaser.
Mm.
Do we know if it's going to be a completely new Fable game? Is it going to be a reboot? Do we know?
It's just called Fable, isn't it? Then it's a reboot. Like, because it's no longer got bloody Molyneux attached, does it?
I remember actually, I never had it on the actual console itself, but I did pick it up on computer. And it was when games for Windows Live existed.
Oh, God.
So even just playing that kind of shit game was a fucking chore because you had to use Game for Windows Live.
Yeah. Not great.
I bought the collector's edition, I think, of Fable 3, or like the limited edition or whatever it was, or pre-ordered it or something. I can't honestly remember. But I did that in order to get the... Maybe I didn't even do that. Maybe I just downloaded the card game that came with it before release to unlock things in the game that came out. And I was saying to the guys, I actually spent more time playing that card game than I did Fable 3, which is pretty telling on how bad Fable 3 was.
Oh, Halo Infinite was also revealed to be coming out in the holiday season of this year. I actually really liked the look of the new Halo. It looked very sort of similar to the recent remakes in terms of like the gunplay and everything that obviously makes a Halo game, but just like a lot nicer, sort of a little bit more polished than the remakes. And also Master Chief's got grapple hook now. So hopefully that means we've got more vertical map traversal and hopefully a nicer, more open world game than like a standard sort of Halo.
Am I the only one
driven
out of the four of us who aren't really that impressed by Halo Infinite? Because I looked at it and it basically looked like Halo 3.
Yeah. I got that kind of vibe. I feel like obviously they were purposely doing that. They were trying to replicate the feel of Halo 3 to capitalize on sort of all the fucking nostalgia that's felt for it. It does just kind of feel like, I don't know, like if someone's sort of rebooting their franchise and bringing it back after a bit of a departure and shit like that, I just kind of find it disappointing when they do this whole thing of just, we're going to basically do the same thing again, except it will look better. Like, no,
yeah, but it doesn't even look
like
better.
entirely new worlds, please.
That's the thing. Like Halo Infinite to me doesn't look better. It looks like Halo 3. Sorry, Halo Infinite doesn't look better. It looks like Halo 3. Like the graphics are fucking terrible.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Now that you say that, like, there's not that much of an step up.
No, like they've people are already memifying Craig, who is like the meme of Halo Infinite. I'll just put a link in the Discord so you can have a look.
Yeah,
it's literally just a flat face. Like that looks like Halo 3. So how are they able to release this game with such bad graphics in 2020? Like it looks like they're using the same engine. All I saw that was brand new was the grapple hook.
Yeah,
and I'm not really that fussed by that because other games have done it better. Apex.
It's kind of a weird choice on their part as well because, like, okay, fine if you want to sort of not focus too much on graphics. Maybe they want to make it a really big game and there's loads of features we don't know about. That's all grand
if they've
and good.
upped
But,
the world size or whatever far beyond what they could actually do before, but still kept the same visual fidelity. It's not a huge.
But that's where.
But they want this to be like the flagship for the new Xbox console. Like it's fucking Halo. Halo is Xbox. And if they're releasing a new console and releasing Halo Infinite to mark this as well, you want it to be that sort of fucking game that is just utterly stunning, that shows off the best of your hardware capabilities.
Yeah, it's your flagship.
And this genuinely just feels like a fucking like, did I forget that this came out in 2016?
Yeah. Like I think, even DayZ looks better. And that's open world. It's a massive map. Even fucking Hell Let Loose is a massive map, and the graphics look absolutely incredible. How is this? Like I'm just so genuinely surprised at how they managed to show this off as, like you said, their flagship release.
I think it is literally it's an open world Halo. Halo normally on the consoles are like level based, aren't they? So they're only loading a certain size map at a time. where this is open world, the graphics they are slightly better, not a massive improvement, but you got to think about this game's being made for console. It's not being made for PC, so it isn't going to be as good as, say, Crysis 3.
Yeah, but Jody, it's being made on the world's most powerful console.
Fuck off. Still an Xbox.
Teraflops.
Yeah, but even still, even if it's open world, Witcher was open world, and that looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So I disagree completely with what you're saying, that they're making it on a console and it's open world. You can make an open world game look really, really good. You just got to optimize your game properly. The model quality of that fucking face that is in the Discord that I've just shown you, it's like 4 polygons.
Yeah.
It's just dog shit.
Like, when did that last Killzone game, Shadowfall, that came out in 2013? I think end of 2013. That's 7 years ago. Its graphics are remarkably better than this.
Yeah, they are.
And I know, yeah, like getting back to that previous point, graphics aren't everything. If there's a fundamentally fucking good and fun game to play behind this, that's all grand. I just find it fucking weird. It's a weird step away from what you would think they would be doing.
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously just riding on the fame of Halo.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. And I don't think they've put too much investment into this game. They've probably been like, we got to get something kind of cost effective out that most people will like. Oh, Halo, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't even have to try too hard about it.
Frankly, I don't think the soul's really there behind the franchise anymore anyway, since Bungie's gone.
No.
Like, it's, yeah.
I think Bungie are probably turning in their IP graves.
Yep. Please remember us for something else.
Fuck, even Destiny looks better than this. You know what I mean? Like, this is coming out on the next gen consoles. It could look so much better. Maybe this is early footage. Maybe they're going to improve it. But fuck me, like,
they'll fix Craig.
Yeah, they'll have to fix Craig.
There'll probably be some sort of like hype building video where they try to be funny about it, to sort of show off the fact that they've polished it a bit.
Do you think they've done this like as a marketing ploy to make us talk about how bad the graphics are?
So then they can do a reveal in another 3 months where they've...
Things are bad when you have to go into this level of conspiracy.
The other thing as well is you don't know if these are all images from way back. Like, this might not be images from game, like, sort of stuff going on.
What fucking marketing team for Microsoft is going to be doing that?
It's also stuff from, some of these pictures are from reputable, or air quotes, reputable sources. So, they're news journalists. Gaming news journalists, rather. So they wouldn't necessarily, and I say air quotes, be peddling false information. So I would say most of these screenshots are probably legit.
Yeah, like I don't think when a gaming journal reached out and said, "Hey, can you send us a media pack for this?" that someone over in fucking Bungie was just like, "I don't know, let me just hop into my pictures here, fucking 2017 highlight paste." or pretty sure they probably put a bit of thought into it.
We haven't got any pictures. Okay, all right. What kind of looks like the Halo Infinite environment on Halo 3? Let's just screenshot that and use that.
Oh god. Speaking of reboots, new Stalker game coming at last.
You're
literally
very for that,
2 days after you were like, I want a new Stalker, for fuck's sake, give me a new Stalker. And then, hey Brent.
Fucking pre-rendered trailer comes out. The pre-rendered trailer doesn't really inspire much hope. They had said the idea behind it was to give, what was it, target performance or whatever.
It's like the benchmark of what they hope to achieve the game to actually look like, but they can't actually do that just yet because they don't have the technology nor the time to
yeah, we could be a while off before this is actually ready for release. And from that trailer alone, it just kind of pans through. For a bit of background, if you haven't played the Stalker franchise, it's all around after the Chernobyl meltdown. There's a fictional scenario where the exclusion zone goes in around it, and as a result of the heavy radiation, weird shit starts happening. Weird creatures spawn. There's all sorts of factions at play trying to scavenge the landscape for these rare anomalies and things like that. So it's very much that kind of Daisy sort of horror survival vibe to it. Well, there are zombies in it, but there are other more horrifying creatures. And this trailer kind of shows some of the environment from Call of Pripyat and Shadow of Chernobyl, the previous games, including there's a bit where you'll see the guys gathered around a campfire, which is the starting bit of Shadow of Chernobyl. And it's that kind of thing of, as I was saying with Halo, I can't fucking wait for a new Stalker game. I love the Stalker series and I can't wait for this next one to come out. But I have to now be cautious about it because we're in this circumstance where we're just getting this recurring theme now of a lot of franchises just going, we'll just reboot the last game. We'll just remake the last game. Sorry, we'll just fucking dump it in the same environment. We'll polish it a bit and that'll do. Because fundamentally, I could just install a load of really fucking good mods. The Stalker modding community is incredible. I could install those onto an older game and basically get something that would be a Stalker 2 sequel if all they're going to do is revisit the same old areas. So I'm hoping with that just being target footage, it's not giving a full look at how much they're going to build on the previous game. But it's a fucking fantastic franchise either way, so I can't wait for it. I'd be intrigued to see actually, in terms of gameplay and stuff like that, realistically, they could just do a whole thing of, you're a new Stalker, it's a new storyline, and you're sort of doing something around the Chernobyl area. But I know that sort of when Call of Pripyat was sort of at its peak with people playing it, there was an online mode where you could have death matches and stuff in these little maps. And the gunplay is actually really good, so it was quite a good little multiplayer shooter. But it wasn't there was no focus on it. It was just kind of, it was there. They sort of just chucked that together, and you had to fix it a bit as well if you wanted to play it. I'm wondering whether we will see this sort of thing of they will look at doing online co-op for it, which I think would be quite good. Keep the game. The game is PvE in its heart. Fundamentally, it's not going to be the sort of thing where you're fucking fighting against other players and shit like that. But if they did do a co-op element to it where you could get 4 guys in and fucking join factions and all the rest of it, it would just be a fucking dream come true.
It'd be amazing.
I would settle for a good single player game as long as it's actually new and not just repackaging shit that's already been done.
If it was for me, if I were to play it, because I never played the first one, but I know of it very well. And from what you've said as well, Brandon, it looked it's obviously dated quite badly because it's quite old, but I can see exactly what they were trying to achieve back then and also what they could achieve now. And I kind of have a little bit of DayZ vibes from it.
Well, DayZ was kind of inspired by it in certain extent. Actually, I said this before, but Escape from Tarkov's inventory system and their choices of weapons and things like that, that's just straight from Stalker.
Yeah.
Those guys clearly just fucking love the Stalker franchise.
Yeah. I'd be very happy if they released a online kind of multiplayer mode for Stalker 2. Maybe it's co-op, maybe it's an actual multiplayer mode. I'd be very happy with that. I would actually play it.
I just can't wait to get fucking killed by a bloodsucker in HD.
Talking about 4-player co-ops, Warhammer 40k Darktide is set to be released next year sometime. So very much in the style of Warhammer Vermintide, but obviously 40k-ified. So you're playing as as four characters in their sort of 401st century sci-fi setting, where you journey into a hive city that is populated with chaos cult forces, and you have to just basically battle your way out of the city. It does look from the teaser trailer like it could be very good. I
will hold my comments until I see gameplay.
Yeah, same. I'd love to see a good gameplay. The Vermintide series was very good. I don't know if any of you guys played the Vermintide.
No, but I've had it heartily recommended as sort of a fantasy Warhammer version of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
So at 40k one, bringing in actual gunplay, Xenos, all that shit, it should be quite good fun. I'm looking forward to that.
There is space in my life for another Left 4 Dead.
Oh yes, been so long.
Yeah, definitely.
Until there's an actual Left 4 Dead,
Valve.
I will happily play a Left 4 Dead alike.
Left 4 Dead 3 VR, maybe.
Give it to us.
It's just fucking like, could you imagine living in a world just like this magical little moment, fucking say 5 years from now, where you can live in a scenario where there's a Left 4 Dead 3, there's a Team Fortress 3, there's a Half-Life 3, all out at the same fucking time, just like those games just existing. That would be fucking Christ.
You forgot one though. Portal 3, yeah.
Chunder Simulator.
Chunder.
Half-Life Alyx 2.
There's probably going to be a Half-Life Alyx 2 before there is a Half-Life 3.
Is that a spoiler?
Maybe.
Have you finished Half-Life, Alex, yet?
Finish!
Yeah, don't even speak about it.
But maybe we're talking about a different Alex. Maybe there's more than one. Maybe.
I'm going to tell Gaben to introduce fucking microtransactions into the next Half-Life, and then Jordan will fucking finish it.
Introduce a pet.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Sounds
only
good.
costs £5.
Well, moving on to our final subject of the episode. So we're all big, or most of us, not so much Brendan, but we're all big Rocket League fans, and Rocket League and Psyonix have announced that they are moving from Steam to the Epic Games Store and are becoming free to play.
Yes.
How do we all feel about that move, and the fact that games themselves are not now just tied down to one ship? They can jump ships now and completely move to a different provider now.
So from what I understand from it is that if you own it on Steam, you will always own it on Steam. From what I understand.
Yeah.
So to move it from Steam to Epic, to me, I don't really care. Like I've got it on Steam. That's that. If it moves to Epic, fully, and it's no longer on my Steam library, as long as I have everything, all my progress.
No, that will never happen.
No.
You have it on Steam, and it will be on Steam.
But if that were hypothetically, if that were a thing, if I got all my progress and it moved over to Epic, I might play it less because it's not on my list that I see day in, day out all the time. Like I only load up Epic when I want to load up Epic or a particular game. So if I'm like, oh, do you want to play some Rocket League? I'll load up Epic. But currently, I don't really see any issue with it being no longer available on Steam, but you have to get it on like Epic instead. More free-to-play players will mean there's going to be a lot more noobs playing the game, so maybe a lot more people will... there'll be a bigger gap between bronze and silver, potentially. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really mind, personally. Like I
feel they may even have to add different ranks now to or just to expand the ranking system, obviously, because there will be a shitload more players joining. Like you'll probably double the amount of players for it going free to play.
Maybe. I don't think it'll double the amount. I think there'll be like maybe 20% increase because there's a lot of people playing it anyway. It's free on PlayStation. So
it's not free on PlayStation. It was free on PlayStation for a short period of time.
Oh.
It's still paid for on PlayStation.
Well, it's going to become free. So yeah, actually, yeah. It's is
it going to be free on PlayStation? That is the question.
Yeah.
Do the consoles count, or is it just free on PC on Epic Games?
No.
You can't get Epic Games on the console.
It's free on PlayStation 4. It will be like that. That was the first thing that they announced. It was free on PlayStation 4, and then it's moving to Epic. But at the same time, they announced it as PlayStation is free, and then Epic is free.
Still have to pay for it on Xbox.
There'll certainly be a lot more new players who don't know how to play the game, and there'll be certainly a lot more Smurfs who've got a new free account that didn't want to pay for a free account before that are now going to be higher. So ultimately, I don't think there's going to be that much change because you've got players of all capacities moving forward. if not maybe a few more lower tiers. In terms of like, there's more people playing lower tiers. So, maybe bronze is actually going to be higher than gold at the moment in terms of like the amount of people on it.
Yeah, possibly. And on that bombshell,
good night.
We will end the podcast here. A bit of a longer one than our normal episodes, but yeah, thank you all for listening.
Rob can have fun cutting out fucking 15 minutes of Rocket League ranks
of talking about socks.
Yes. But no, we will see you all next time, where we find you guys outside of the podcast. Rob,
you can find me on YouTube at Rob Coxey,
and Gary.
You can find me also on YouTube and Twitch at Endash. One has an underscore on Twitch, I think.
And a SpongeBob.
And SpongeBob, yeah.
You can find me on Twitch as well at twitch.tv/JeordieWiz. And Brendan, where will we find you?
The floor.
On the floor. Just a quick shout out as well for some of our Twitter podcast friends at Game Deflators. Thank you guys for them. And also at rewind_n_replay. Go check those guys out. They're really cool. Great podcasts around sort of gaming and our sort of stuff as well. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode. Please follow us on Twitter at VGC_podcast. And also, again, another big thank you to Brawl for the awesome intro and outro. We love it. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
Yeah,
we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Oh, you didn't say Tuesday.
Changed
it.
You fucked it, Geordie. You had one job.
This never would have happened if you were wearing your gaming socks.